Hi, it's repair time. We're going to take a look at my Sony RX100 Mark IV, and as you can see, it's a bit beat up, but this is the camera that I don't know how long I've had it. Whenever it came out, I think I got it pretty much when it came out, because this thing was like, I believe the RX100, please correct me and flame in the comments down below, is the duck's guts pocket camera, because it's got a 1-inch sensor in it, and yeah, it's just got great features for video blogging. Of course, I have the newer ZV1 now, none of that Z rubbish, by the way, ZV1, which is much better, because I never understood, even though this was a fantastic camera, like I never understood why they bothered having like a pop-up viewfinder on it when you have a screen. When you have a screen like this, and the good thing about it is that it's an articulating screen, so you can just flip that open and you can see yourself. Great for video blogging, of course. And speaking of which, if you're wondering what the heck this is, then I won't show you up close, but what the heck this is, isn't it trendy to have band-aids? Your jab band-aid? Yeah, I think they jabbed me in the wrong spot. So anyway, please don't stare at the band-aid. Anyway, yeah, I don't know why they bothered, like adding all that expense and space and everything else for a viewfinder, which was very good for what it is, but like you just don't need it. Even in perfect outdoor sun, the screen was, the screen was great. So yeah, I like just feature I never used. And then of course you've got the pop-up flash as well. Look, does anyone use a pop-up flash? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, a hot shoe or even a cold shoe in place of that would have been great. But anyway, absolutely fantastic camera. And I've done lots of not just second channel video, because this is the camera I'd take when I go on holidays, or I'd even when I'm out on site shooting stuff, at events and things, I would, or I'm visiting locations and stuff, I would take this along. And often if I just want to shoot a quick and dirty video, I just whip this out of my pocket, because it literally does fit in my pocket, and I can shoot great video with it. This one didn't have external audio, but whereas the new ZV1 that I've got does. But anyway, yeah, still a great camera, but unfortunately it's Kamagata. It doesn't work anymore. There's the serial number for those playing along at home. Yes, this is the new Mark IV model. I think they're up to Mark 7 or something, aren't they? Anyway, I got the ZV1 instead, because that had other video blogging features. But I still believe, flame comments down below, that this is the RX100 series is still the duck's guts pocket camera. Yeah, it started failing. Like the battery wouldn't, like it had only last a short time, and the battery wouldn't seemingly charge properly and stuff. And I thought, okay, the battery's gone. It was one of these Neville Nobody brands or whatever, but I've got the same camera, same battery in my other stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. I put a fully charged battery in there, external charger, and it does not turn on. This is a fully charged battery, and there's a little LED, little indicator LED in the top of the button there, but it doesn't. So the symptom is, even when I press that, it doesn't switch on at all. And if I power it through USB, it does absolutely nothing, which is a bit surprising. But so, yeah, it doesn't seem to be the battery. So let's have a look at it. Let's take out the SD card. Let's take out the battery. And the contacts down in there, yeah, those contacts look good. Springy contacts look great. Video's a bit noisy because, yeah, it's pretty dark down in there. But there you go. Yeah, those contacts look fine. So I don't think it's not like a contact's broken off. I could try and like power it through here. Maybe I could get some fine probes down in, like easy hook probes down in there to power it, but I don't think that that's going to do anything, because I know the battery is good, and I know it's making contact. And even if I hold the battery in, it's still, it just does not turn on. So I don't know if this is a known issue or not. So anyway, let's take this sucker apart. I have no idea how to do it, but there's screws, Phillips jobbies, so we're going to start with that. And I think there's more on the back too, so I think this whole back cover, you can see the split in there like that. I think all that's going to lift off, or to actually lift out, and then there's some screws on the back, I believe. No secret squirrel screws down in there, nope. All right, so we do have that. There's a couple of screws on the bottom of the screen, but we won't have to get the screen off. And this articulating screen, which is always very nice. Like, it's just for a video blogger, you know, like being able to see yourself, see the framing and stuff is just absolutely fantastic. But anyway, yeah, there's a couple of screws up there. Oh yeah, there we go. One there, one there. Is that the same? No, they're a different size screw. So you got to keep those separate. Geez, they're really shorties, those ones. Check that out. Super short. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's your hinge. Okay. Now I reckon probably get a spudger under there and lift that out. All the screws really that I can see, apart from these top ones. Aha, there you go. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's just a yeah, little plastic bottom. I always thought that was metal. That's interesting. Got a couple of wires buggering off there somewhere. Has that got something to do with the motorized zoom on the front, perhaps? But anyway, what I really want is to get to the switches on top, of course, because it could just be a dodgy tactile switch on the top. I mean, that could be it. But then again, I was having power, like, charging problems. So, yeah, which you don't have to press the button in order for it to charge up. So, yeah, but I don't see a way to get the top off without getting the rest off. So, let's pry the rest of it off. There we go. There we go. Will that allow me to take the top off? That'd be really nice. Yeah, no. Bracket thing. Oh, I think those had to come off anyway. Okay, once I get that off, might be getting close to the switch in there, so that's what I want. Okay, is there a way to get the screen off? Is there a way to pull that ribbon cable out? I think those are, yeah, they come out. There you go. I thought they might. So that's the multi, and yeah, that's, yep, that's going to come out now. You got to be careful when you're flapping around in the breeze like this. There's a bit of weight in that LCD, and that could ruin your day with the ribbon. Felt that unclip. You might have heard that too. So I reckon now, if we get this side pop, goes the weasel. The LCD's still connected. We're in, and I can see that. Oh, yes, I can see. I can access the top button now. Nice. I don't know. Get that ribbon cable out, though. I don't want to just yank it. Okay, have we got any secondary layer screws? Yep, there's one. Ah, yeah, you may have to get, I think we have to get this back plate off. So I reckon something's holding that in. That could be, yeah, that could be that. Is that, yeah, that's another one there. I reckon we've got secondary layer screws there. Sneaky, huh? Well, actually, technically, I don't have to get that screen off to have a squiz down in here at what's going on. Oh, I saw something moving there. I can see the little, oh, okay, there you go. It is, there's a plunger going all the way through. Can you see that? Plunger's going all the way through into there. And the tactile dome is on that flat flex down in there. But I can still feel the dome. You can feel the dome snap. So, but how you measure that, that's the problem, see? It's being able to probe it to confirm that that tactile dome is still good. Anyway, I'm going to whack the battery back in there just to see if, you know, something's been dislodged or something like that. Hold the battery in with pressure. Okay, there you go. I can get that off now. Ta-da! Can lift that whole back cover off. Nice. Flappy plastic bit down in there too. That's now flapping around in the breeze. Aha. Yeah, that's starting to lift out. Look. Look. Okay, yeah, you have to gently pull that out. It's coming out. See how that was held in there? Yeah, this is a tricky business. Of course, this is my first time ever doing one of those. You'd get used to it if you do a couple of them. Yeah, I think this lever's off from the bottom. And then you get it partially the way open, then you'll be able to access. Should be able to get in there to the ribbon cable. It wouldn't come this far if there was still some screws left. Got the rear keypad off. Is there a sneaky screw in there? Yes, there is. Yeah, I can feel that. Coming loosey-goosey now. That was dumb, or was that actually there before? No, I think it was actually covered. Yeah, you have to get that off, then get this off. There we go. I think that's better now, unless there's an equivalent on this side here. Oh, there are. It hinges off this way. Okay. Yeah, I can see the ribbon. Yappity doo dah. Ta-da! We're in like Flint. There you go. You can see that ribbon connected down in there. And is that a bar type one? There you go. Once you've done this once, you know exactly what to do. There's the inside of our camera. Isn't that neat? With all the room taken up there. Jeez, for that viewfinder. Unbelievable. I'd rather have a bigger battery than a viewfinder, let me tell you. But anyway, battery's packed in there. So the thing is, yeah, all of our button, as I said, it's up the top there. Oh, well, the whole thing's moving now. But if I plunger that, there is a board there. That's actually a board. It's not a flat flex. It's a little board in there. 0.8mm jobby. It's a bit hairy scary, isn't it? No idea what those chippies are. Not going to be guessing at stuff like that now. But anyway, there's a USB connector. So for those wondering, can you replace the USB connector on this? It looks like, assuming you can get that out, that's all copper. It's all just like big heat sinking in there. So assuming you can get that out, no, is that screw there? And you should be able to access, because yeah, you wouldn't be able to get your iron down there at the moment. Yeah, hot air gun's you're gonna come a gutser there, melt all your ribbon and everything else. So yeah, you'd want to get all that out. So that's what, if you want to replace your USB, if that's busted, then no wuckers. You could probably change that without going a huge amount further in there. But we're not here for that. Anyway, they do look okay, those joints, don't they? Nothing looks broken there. And it was charging at one point, but at one point I thought it might have been a dicky micro USB connector. But that doesn't rule out why it doesn't work with the battery. Anyway, I'm going to whack the battery back in. If it was a bad contact on the dome, which happens, we would have seen intermittent contact on the button well before now, but it's just not, it's not doing anything. It's probably not the button. This may be, I'm not calling it yet, certainly, but I'm just warning you, this may be BER, beyond economical repair, in basically time and effort. It's a really great camera, but it is only worth so much of my time. So how do we get in there? There's a screw there. So you can see that move in there. That's the thumb switch, zoom control. But I've got to assume that right off the bat, it's a dodgy power contact. That's what I have to assume. To get in there, I don't know. Oh yeah, does this whole top bit lift off? If it does, that's what we need to do next. But no, it's all one case. Look, it's all part of the one case. It doesn't lift off. It could lift out. I don't like the chances of that coming out. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that we're not going to get this top button, top control PCB out without getting all of the main board out. Fairly convinced of that, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to have to get it all out. So going to have to take, looks like there's ribbons going over here. All these have to come out. The tape off, stuff like that. And there's at least a couple of screws holding that top heat spreader in place. So, well, looks like we might have to do it. This is horrible stuff, actually. There we go. So, yeah, we've got access to our two ribbons here. Ribbon 1, ribbon 2. Ta-da! We can fold those up and away, can we? I don't see any other screws in there. Oh, yeah? Yeah, look, that's just going to lift off. Yeah, I reckon there's only a couple of screws there. That's got a little hook there, keeping that copper sheet in place there. Yeah, you got to lift that up. Next step, don't know. Yo, I just got zapped. Yeah, that was the that was the flash capacitor. Bloody flash capacitor. Unbelievable. Yep. Zappity doodah. Ouchie. Yep, beware the flash. Completely forgot. Yep. That just lifts off. There's our thermal pads. There you go. So it's for those those passives. Anyway, we've got ourselves a that's a cover from the HDMI connector, is it? That's our main processor. And of course our sensors under there. That's actually not copper there, so they're not using it to get heat out of the sensor there, really. It essentially is just the processor heatsink, really. So yeah, it's relatively easy to get to this point. As I said, if you want to replace the micro USB on there, it looks like you can do that. You can see how amazingly these things are designed. Like just the fit to envelope design, as it's called, is just, and like the team of people, team of engineers required to put this together is really remarkable. I think that's a slight combination of semi-rigid flex and then flex over here. Yeah, incredible amount of work. You know, we haven't even got into the lens. I've done a Sony lens teardown video I'll link in, which is absolutely fantastic to show how the image stabilization works and things like that. That was a very popular video. Yeah, that was really cool. So anyway, we got this far. But yeah, I still don't think that board's coming out of there unless this processor board comes out. So if we want to get the processor board out, we're going to have to undo these ribbons here. All of these. Otherwise, she ain't budging. Something here. Oh, hey, that's an antenna. There you go. It's stuck down. This plastic cover has to come off somehow. So I don't think technically there's anything else holding it in. Aha. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. I thought that might come off like that. There you go. Like even that little complex assembly there. Check out that little mongrel. Like they've got to mold that, right? They've got to design and injection mold that sucker. These ribbons here have a lot of slack on them. So I'd imagine, there we go, yep, I thought that was stuck in there. Ah, that's part of the offcut. That's part of the holder of the panel. Look at that. Don't know if that was deliberate or not. That was supposed to go, oh yeah, it might have been. That was supposed to go under there and sort of hold that board in place. That's kind of neat, isn't it? It has a few little protrusions like that. You see, you know, this is just not a straight edge board. They've designed all these little kinks in here to actually, you know, these all do something. So this is where the PCB designer has to be intimately tied to the mechanical engineers designing the case and everything else. But this is where your 3D modeling stuff gets really good these days. There you go. So assuming we can get those ribbon cables out. So we'll get this one out first. Oh, that was two. Whoa. Okay. That was two ribbon cables. Top and bottom. Wow. Actually, I can keep these ones attached. If I just disconnect this one, it'll just fold out. Is there another ribbon in there I'm not aware of? This is incredible. It's not that screw there. That's part of the lens assembly. I expect pop goes the weasel right about now, but aha. Yeah, it's a ribbon cable on the underside. Look at that. So that comes from the center. I really don't actually, I'm going to leave that in place. I'm going to leave it. Like, I'd love to get the whole board out, but I don't want to actually have to go back and do that. This is pain in the ass enough. Look at this. I mean, you know, power, 2-pin and some sense line, is it? Something like that. So that's power. And that top board in there doesn't want to budge. Yeah, look, there's a peg in there. That board comes out forward. I don't like, it's not going to lift up. That's part of, is that part of the assembly for the thumb wheel there? I don't think we can just lift that board out. I think all of it's got to come out. Well, it's just my luck, huh? That the thing I want to look at, like the switch in there, and you know, there's probably like maybe soft power circuit in there on that top board, something like that would be my guess. And Yeah, that's what I want to get at and check. But unfortunately, yeah, and like these things are almost impossible to probe in situ. It's just, yeah, you're just not going to be able to do it. Anyway, this bottom board here is another screw for that bottom board. So we're going to take this whole top board out. Aha. I can now flip that board over like that. I still haven't taken off that key assembly. There's one screw there. Rockabye baby. That. Wow, this is just ribbon cable nightmare, really. See, I want to keep that in. That's the actual camera sensor there. I just want to keep that in because, well, why not? It's just saying, can I see the screws down in there for that board? No. So that's the whole SD card assembly. It's interesting that they've got the cutout in the board there to get the low profile required. You know, even that 0.8mm board or whatever the thickness of that board is was still too much. They had to like have the big cutout in the board like that, and then they had to have two boards, and that's what these two ribbon cables here do. They actually just connect this bottom board up to the top board, so they didn't even go with like a board-to-board interconnect. They went with ribbons. They do love their ribbons. They do love their flat flexies. Thingamabob here. What on earth is that? Oh, okay, that's just electrical tape covering a little tantalum down there. All right, forgot a screw down here which holds the board on. Dolt. That was obvious. There we go. Ta-da! Look at that. There's our. That's your. That's all your SD card business. So does that just handle the SD card? Don't know. Now we're getting down into the guts of the assembly down there. But now we're talking about like the big plastic frame surrounding the lens and everything else. Wow. You still want to get that board out? Don't tell me you've got to take all of the lens and everything else apart. Oh, that's going to suck. Anyway, I might be able to whack a battery back in that. This thick ribbon cable, that's obviously coming from your battery. So, I reckon if we shove a battery in there, measure the V's, we'll see what we get, yeah? That will at least eliminate the bad spring contact, right? Sorry, I haven't got my on-screen multimeter set up today. 4.15 volts, hunky-dory, right? No wuckers. It's exactly, so it's not spring contacts or anything. So it's either the switch is gone or something to do with the like the charging soft power type circuit is gone. It's good that we can actually get in there and probe that, but the fact that we had to take all this apart just to get to that point. Although we know technically we could have measured we could have measured that ribbon before we took all this board out. All right, I guess there's nothing left but to take the rest of this apart. So I'm going to get this. Looks like they got tape holding down this flex going to the camera. So we'll flippity-doo-dah that one out. I believe we've got to take that tape off though. Oh, there we go. So there's our main board. That's complete. See service manual. Oh, we can get a service manual for this, can we? I didn't even look. Have a look down. Yeah. No, that's Micron. There you go. I can see that part number better now. Like, I presume it's still working. I don't know. It could be failed. I've still got no idea what's actually wrong with this thing. Why it doesn't? Because it seems to do absolutely nothing now. So, can we engage the... Oh, yeah, there we go. Hey, that pops out. Nice, but I still think that's a complete utter waste of space and money. I mean, how much extra bomb costs for this bloody high-resolution viewfinder in this thing and the everything else that goes along with it? I don't know. I don't get that. There's 3 little silver screws here. I'm going to take all those out, and hopefully that lens assembly come out. There might be another one hidden under there, but I can't see it. Actually, I think I can get this battery compartment out. I think if this lifts out here like this, I think I can get it out. Okay, I can actually push that entire lens assembly from the bottom there. In fact, those screws, they didn't have to come off. So I'm going to put those back because I don't want to go into the actual lens assembly itself. I want the entire housing to come out. This is like to get the sensor off, so I think that was a mistake. I think once all the ribbon cables are off the back, I think the lens will just pop out. All right, so that's the plastic. There you go, see? That whole assembly just moves. So I wonder if I don't have to get that out, if I just, like it's got a shutter on the front, can then I just lift, because I want to get this battery assembly out. So the battery assembly is the thing that's stopping me getting to the button board on the front. Okay, yeah, the ribbon on this side is preventing that all coming out. So I've taken off the viewfinder ribbon, but this ribbon, that's all part of, that's actually part of the flat flex in there. So all that has to come out, really. Aha! There was a screw holding that in. That board there, the viewfinder interface, and also that's the one that zapped me. Okay, what's down in there? Is that our little lens motor? Yeah, there we go. It's all popping out, but where does all that ribbon, all that ribbon goes around to the back? No, that should all come out. It's one assembly. Aha! That ribbon there is in the way, preventing. Is that tied into the same ribbon? Is that the same ribbon? No, it's physically not the same ribbon. But they're stuck together, are they? Yep, okay, they're stuck together. That's annoying, see? There you go. And the lens, haha, the lens assembly is now going to pop out. Popping that out from the back. This is really messy. I mean, so you can see how it just pops through like that. So I don't have to take it all the way out. I don't think I have to, because all I want to do is get this, all I want to do is get this battery compartment out here. There's probably another screw holding that puppy in. Now I'm now convinced the lens assembly does have to come out. There we go. Got it. Got it. Got it. Hey! There's a ring. There's a little O-ring on the bottom there. But I got it. There's your entire lens assembly. What a mess, huh? Wow. This is incredible. This is incredible how this thing goes together. Looks like an absolute mess, but there is method to the madness. So, anyway. So we are able to swing that out of the way there. And now, oh, there's a, yep, there's a screw in there. Look at that. There you go, yep. Just my luck, right? The board I wanted to get to, you had to basically take this entire camera apart. Geez, I don't even know how the rest of that comes out now, actually. Unbelievable. There's our flash capacitor under there, which I still haven't discharged. I'm just being, because I don't know which point I got that zapped me. I don't know which point is discharged. So I've just left that, but ideally, yep, you do want to discharge that bad boy. Oh no, that's that's another antenna. There's the two wires coming out there. I would presume that's it, but I did actually measure those and they were 0. So if those two red and black wires there are the flash capacitor, then it is already discharged. So yeah, I don't know at what point you could have discharged that. I've lost track, but geez, this is really messy. Still not letting me get that board out. Seems like there's a screw in that back part, because this front part lifts off, but the back part does not. It's almost as if there's a screw in there that I've missed. Is this stupid tape covering it? Ah, yeah, I think it's actually the tape itself. I think the tape itself is holding in the damn assembly. Yep. So I'm going to rip that stupid tape off. There you go. Is that? Ah, that's it. Jeez, that's it. That's it. There it is there. Did I even need to, no, I did not need to get that lens assembly. I don't think I needed to get that lens assembly out to do that. Damn. Damn, that is really annoying. Bloody tape. And yep, sure enough, 2 screws there and there. So, but we don't actually have to get that out. We can actually test that in situ now, can't we? Nah, I'll just take the board out. Come this far. Ah, the screw does not want to come out. I'm going to get the tweezers on that screw. That was annoying. We're finally in to our button board. We're finally, oh, sorry. No, I zoomed right in. There is our tactile dome. That's our tactile dome. That is supposedly, well, I don't know if that's the problem or not. It could be. There it is. Wow. All that effort just to get that. Unbelievable. Wow. That was the hardest board in this whole thing to get out. And that's the thing that, well, the fault won't be on there because Murphy, right? Anyway, you can see all the press marks on there over the years. But as I said, it still does have, there's another tactile dome there. Oh, that's the shutter button. Right. You can see that, and you probably can't hear that, but Field of Vision says that that tactile dome is still working. So I need to verify that. Right, so assume it's that trace over there. Bloody tinted vias, so you can't probe the damn things. But we can actually get under the pin of that. Yeah, I don't know what these chips are. I don't know. Is it some sort of soft power functionality or something? That's the LED on the front, actually. That's the what is it? The autofocus? No, the LED that lights up. Yeah, the autofocus LED thing that actually lights you up in the dark. That allows you to focus in the dark and stuff. So I'm going to assume it's ground. And that one over there always comes on. That one doesn't. Yep. So there's one contact there. So yeah, I think it's this side over here. So this side's grounded. This side's not. So, yeah, excuse me. This might not be pretty. Got to use your 3 hands here. Tongue at the right angle. So much for that theory. Tactile button works. Something else is rooted. So I went. It was maybe a poor option to think that the tactile button could have gone. But it's something that I had to test. So I was kind of like fixated on that. No, the tactile button works. So unless you like start tracing through what that board does and through the various ribbon cables and things, I would say, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So there's nothing wrong with the soft button power start thing. So all that effort to rip this thing apart to find that power button's just gone. I mean, it could be like the main processor board is just gone. It's, you know, in some way. I don't know. Micro USB connector still looks good there. It's the one on the right. And yeah, that still looks hunky-dory. So all that's good. All the connections on there, but that doesn't explain why, you know, you put a good battery in it and the soft start doesn't work. I don't know. It could just be a processor board gone. Let me see if you can actually get, I mean, you know, I don't want to go out and buy a replacement. I'm just wondering if you can get one, though. Yep, eBay. You can actually get them. RX100 Mark IV mainboard, 200 Aussie bucks. No thanks. So unless I look through and know that this exact problem has been fixed before by a processor replacement board, yeah, I'm not paying for 200 bucks. 200, I could almost get one. There's another one for 446. Oh boy, 446 bucks. I'm sure I can get a second-hand camera for that working. Like, yeah, that's just nuts. 238 bucks. Actually, I'm not even sure the $200 one is legit. The others look good. The photos looks wrong. You can get the SD card board, $137. All from China, of course. So you can actually get spare parts for these. This is how popular the RX100 cameras are. Maybe they're cheaper on like AliExpress. Oh yeah, on AliExpress, yep, I can get them for 90 bucks, 90 Yankee bucks that is. It's about, you know, 120 bucks Aussie. something like that. You can get them. So it's, if you do have a known fault that's in the processor board, you can actually get replacements for it. Very interesting, huh? But, oh, geez, like, I don't know. I've already spent a reasonable enough time on this, let alone editing the video. I was hoping that it would be the switchboard, you know, something as simple as the tactile dome, and then I could have fixed that. But no, it just, and it wasn't the contacts. The contacts were still good because we actually measured those. So I got in and measured the two things. I wanted to make sure power was getting to the board, and it seemed to be via that ribbon anyway. I don't know, there could have been a dodgy connection on the ribbon, who knows, because I didn't actually probe the power on the board itself. And the other one was, of course, the soft power button, and both of those are not a problem. So anyway, I'm going to put that board back in. Probably put, like, yeah, I guess that board's not a problem. Maybe I'll reassemble it. Maybe it was a dodgy connection on a ribbon. Maybe just simply reassembling it will fix it. You never know your luck in the big city. So yeah, I'm not going to take it apart any further. I'm going to attempt to put this back together. And yeah, because you can actually get the processor board out relatively easily without taking that whole lens assembly out. So yeah, I'm going to slowly put it back together and then have another think about it. So the reassembly process, basically a reverse of what I did there. Plug that ribbon cable back in, but you see this has to be aligned up with the thumb switch over here. So I'll figure that out. I'm not sure of the exact, there should be a protrude, oh yeah, there we go. There's two, you can see them just over there. There's two little cutouts in there. So these two little bits have to go back into there. But you can test that once you've put it back in. No problem. In fact, I can, oh, yep. There we go. And you can see that metal rotating with it. So you know you've got that in the right spot. And then I'll screw that back in. But can't believe that was the hardest board on the whole thing. And that's what I had to get to. Unbelievable. And the battery assembly back. I'm going to leave out this stupid tape just because it caused me some degree of grief. Next thing, this ribbon over here. Then we've got this ribbon here, because we will never get in that if we put in the battery compartment. So yeah, if you miss a step doing this reassembly, you're screwed. You know, friend, the battery compartment, that caused me so much grief. I think I'm going to leave that stupid tape out just because, yeah, the door closes. No wuckers. That's in there. Yep. And then there was that screw, wasn't there? Helps if I edit this video first and play it back in reverse. Okay, I might do the lens assembly next. There's ribbons everywhere. Didn't think that went all the way in, but it did. So, no wuckers. And then, yeah, we didn't have a screw holding that in place, did we? Let's do the PCB for the SD card, sorry. Wow, this is some really great fit to envelope design. I'm very impressed. Needs a bit of massaging. No, there's no connectors on the back of that, no. Oh, is there a little stud there, is there? Oh, it's not quite lining up with that stud. Yeah, there's definitely a stud there. Oh, there we go. It just dropped into place that time. There you go. Just, yeah, so, yeah, you definitely don't want to force that. So then we had two screws there. Just realised I should have put the flex in there first. That was pretty dumb. So let me do that. That looks all the way into me. Flip the bar back down. Both bars are down. That looks in. Oy! Almost lost a screw. Would never have found that on the carpet again. It's going for my zoom control on the camera. And the screw stuck to my finger. Alright, we'll get the processor board back in. Because at that point we can fire it back up. I think that's in. Sorry, it's hard to get a good angle on this. Pretty sure that's in. Amazing that I've still got this attached. After all that. Now, did we have one on the bottom? Yes, we did. So this is our power. But we already measured that. We were actually getting power going to that, so that's the thing that really annoys me. I was hoping to find something, you see, and I didn't, and Kamagutsa, this is why when you're troubleshooting like this, you hope to find something that's failed, because if you don't find something that's failed, there you go. So anyway, we might be able to measure like maybe some power, like measure like across some of these caps. I probably should have done that actually before, but anyway, whatever. So I do believe that flex there went on top. It means we've got to lift that up and slide that board under. And then this one, I didn't notice, this is actually a staggered pin arrangement, a high pin pitch. That's really a bit of a mongrel, isn't it? But that would, actually that connects over to the button on the front, doesn't it? So in theory, there could be something wrong with that ribbon there. Let's get that locking bar back down into place. Now we've got these ones over here. Once again, these are high density ones as well. I'm sure there is a preferred order to do this, but whack the bar down there. Should be good to go. Want that little flat flex on top there. All right, now we want the HDMI cover on. Does that go in there? That's, that slides, okay. Slides up and then down. It's a bit tricky. There we go. That clips in there like that, and that holds the board in place. Beauty. But then you've got, you remember these little port flap things? They have to go in there somewhere. They have to go in like that, don't they? And I think they go in at this point. I can't really remember. I'll just sit them there for now. And that antenna there, that just stuck down, so we'll just leave that. I won't bother even putting sticky back on that. And then we had the HDMI cover plate, did we not? Okay, still got a couple of ribbon cables to go. Nice. All right. So all that's back in place. I think we've got our ribbon cable, got our HDMI bracket there. Does that? Oh no, that goes under. Hang on. That goes under there like that. There you go. Back on. We've still got our thermal pad. This thing had a little hook over here, didn't it? There you go. Hook, line, and sinker. No, that's got to go. That ribbon cable will have to go under, surely. There's another clip under there. That pushes the thermal pad back down onto the chippy. Yep, no wuckers. These ribbon cables here, we want those ribbon cables down under, right? Make sure that assembly still works. Yep. Okay. Viewfinder. Although that could probably leave that disconnected, but because I've never used it, but it could throw up an error message, I'm sure. No wuckers. All right. Okay, I need to put these ribbons back in their place now. I do believe that this one here, this is the flash, is it? Okay, we're getting close. My door fell out again. So I'm going to whack that back in there. Because they've got to slip under the case, right? I forget. Oh, got some wires flapping around in the breeze here. Okay, we have the display, don't we? So yeah, we've got to put that into the ribbon over here. Tongue angle, sorry you can't see this. We're looking at getting this back in here. Okay, I do believe these are the speaker wires actually, so I'm going to tuck those away. Does this go in front or behind? I can't actually remember. I assume behind. It's a bit squishy. Nah, I've done something wrong. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that screw up the top. As I said, I'm sure there's an order that all this goes back together, but I'm too lazy to go edit and watch my teardown video. I'm pretty sure that ribbon cable's not supposed to be behind that. So I think I've goofed that. At this point I remembered I should have actually powered it up back when I had the processor in there. Oh, damn it. Oh well. Better late than never. Way, hello? Whoa. It's turned on, but why on earth is it doing that? What the? Oh no, is my button? It works. It works. Something's doing... Why is it doing that? What? What on earth is that? It sensing the screen is not the correct orientation. For starters, but why it's scrolling? No idea, that's bizarre, but the power works again. Magic. I'm going to try that again. Okay. Yeah, green. Yep. Green, but now it's scrolling. Wow. Okay. There's a fault and a half. Progress. Oh, well, that's good. Okay, I'm just going to maybe continue to reassemble it. Yeah, I know. I'll figure that out later. Maybe. Maybe it'll just come good when the screen somehow, I don't know. Jack. I got no idea. I'm sure if I did this a few times, I'd finally get the gist of it. But yeah, I missed a couple of... I need to put a couple of screws in there before I go putting that on. Let me line this up. There. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's one down there. Yep. Yep. I remember that. I do believe that one there as well. That keeps all that in place. Okay, yeah. Now I've got to screw the back frame back in, don't I? I'm going to have screws left over after this. Because I'm just too lazy to go watch my own video and actually reverse it. Okay. So that hinges that. And no, we've still got 2 screws up there, which match up with the 2 screws up there. Oh, no, hang on. No. Yeah, I shouldn't have put that in. Now it's time for the frame, right? Surely. Now, this is where, yeah, you've got to get those up under there. So that probably means this side first. Ta-da. There we go. That side, I think... It's pretty close to being in. I think there's another clippity-doo-dah in that corner. There, that's slightly out, but does that still flip? Yep. No problem. It still flips open. Everything's hunky-dory. Okay, do I put the bottom strip back on now? I do believe that is reassembled. Ta-da! RX100-IV, disassembled, reassembled, and technically I got it working, so let's actually power this sucker on. Alright, so let's try that again to see if it's come good. And the lens didn't extend. Usually the lens extends after you turn it on, although I think it went into the language setup, so I think it's just like completely reset itself, which is fine. Maybe that just, I don't know. Who knows? Was there like a magic secret? Oh no, missed a couple of screws. Well, it turns out I'm actually 1 screw short. I don't know. I have to have another better look around. I'm 1 screw short. People have been saying that for a decade, haven't they? Anyway, battery in. Right, I was going to say, like, wouldn't it be insane if there was like a secret reset switch somewhere that you could, you know, hold it down and factory... Is that it there? That'd be embarrassing. Like, anyway, here we go. I'm going to turn it on. So, will the lens extend? Yeah, green. So we're green. We're good to go. And we've got this scrolling again. We've got another fault. And I don't expect the lens to extend. And it's what? Is that going slower? Faster? What? It's upside down. language, English. Why on earth is it? It's not the button, right? Because I can use the buttons. The buttons are working, so I'm going to go English. Enter date. I don't care. You know, enter like Sydney. Everything's working, so it's reset itself, right? So I'm going. There you go. East coast of Australia. Daylight savings time. Right, enter. Whatever. We're in. But why is it scrolling? If anyone's got any idea why this... Oh, there we go. Lens. Lens popped out. There you go. Yeah, look. Oh. After all that, I fixed it. And we've got a fault where it's scrolling. If anyone has any idea what is causing that to scroll, please let me know. I could hook the HDMI output, right? I wonder if that's going to stop it taking photos. Let's put the SD card in, see what happens. What would cause that? I can only think like, but even like the accelerometer flips the screen and stuff, but it doesn't scroll. Like, that's just nuts. Anyway, SD. Yep. I think it's there. Let's try and take a photo, shall we? Here we go. No. Now flash. Actually, leave the flash up and we'll... No. Viewfinder. Let me see if the viewfinder works. Oh, you gotta... No, it's got one of these eye detection things. No, yeah, I permanently switched it off, but the firmware's reset, so I don't know what the deal is there. Anyway, do the function buttons work? Yep. Everything works. Except it's upside down and it's scrolling. Okay, no. All right, I'm calling it quits for this video. I'm gonna hand it over to the interwebs, and please, if anyone's ever seen that fault on an RX100, oh, whoa, okay, it just switched itself off. It's still scrolling again. If anyone's got any idea what would cause a scrolling fault, like, there's nothing like, you know, the ribbon cable to the LCD, that's all fine, right? Because all the info, either you'd get the info on the screen or you wouldn't, but it's physically scrolling. So, like, yeah, the processor's working, all the battery's working, the zoom lens works, like the lens seems to work. Does it, hang on. Yeah, the focusing system's working. Everything seems to be working, except the screen is scrolling. Menu, there it is. I can, well, like I said, I reckon it'd be interesting to see if I hook the mini HDMI out of there and see if that does anything. Okay, so I've plugged this into the 5th HDMI input on my ATEM. Oh, there we go. Choose input 5. Ta-da! Okay, I thought it might have done that. I thought it's something to do with the screen. So this thing works a treat. Look, I can focus on that. I can focus on the rear. Like, focus system works. An absolute treat. This camera, except the shutter button's not working. No, it does work because half press works. Oh, timer's on. 3-second timer's on. No? I don't know. Do I use this as like a webcam now or something? No, I can't, because it gives this is no good as a webcam, because it gives all the overlay. You can turn the overlay stuff off, but then you don't get like the full output. So it's not alive. Why can't I take a... Oh, I'm in auto mode. See, I can go to P mode. Everything works, right? Auto. Oh, sorry, I'm not there. There you go. So you didn't see my excited face there. Yeah, it automatically turned my face off. But You can see, like, the switch is in the correct position. I can tell you that's in P, so it's all back together. It's all working, except there are two faults. One is that it doesn't take, like the button, when I half press the button, it focuses, okay? But then it won't take the photo when I fully press. So I don't know what the deal is there with that button, or how that half press button works, but the damn camera is working a treat. But the LCD scrolls. Why would the LCD scroll? That is insane. There you go. It works. And if I disconnect it, it'll scroll again. Why on earth would a screen scroll? It's like there can't be like a connection on the ribbon. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't know. Is that like a MIPI interface LCD or whatever? Yeah, no, I don't know enough about it to know why that would scroll. If anyone's got any clue why that would scroll on the LCD, but the HDMI output works fine. Wow, no, I'm going to leave that one open over to the interwebs. Leave it in the comments down below. I've done enough for today. And yeah, might have to be a part 2. But so yeah, 2 faults, scrolling, and I believe actually taking a photo. Does it take a video? Recording, there you go, because it's got a video record button. So it's recording now. I'm going to actually, I will now upload this from the SD card, but the video seems to work. Recording, there you go, because it's got a video record button. So it's recording now. I'm going to actually, I will now upload this from the SD card, but the video seems to work. So even if that works, it's still useful. I don't know. Anyway, if you like that, give it a thumbs up. If you got any clue what's happening here, down below. Catch you next time.